Hey everybody, Christy Birchville here. Today we are looking at day 15 of our Avoiding the Roller Coaster series going through the book of Judges. We're reading through Judges chapter 15. We're still reading through the life of Samson and seeing some of the incredible ups and downs that he has. He has some tremendous victories that we see in this chapter. And when we start seeing and kind of reading through these, we see that God is using Samson to do a great many things. A lot of things that he had planned to do, that he wanted to do, ways he wanted to get back and judge the Philistines. God is using Samson to do those things. However, what we also end up seeing is that Samson doesn't really come to God and ask God much. Samson's not really trying to be used by God necessarily. He's just sort of doing his thing, and God is using that in a way to be able to judge the Philistines. You really kind of almost get the idea that Samson doesn't come to God or ask God anything unless he needs something. You know, you kind of get the idea of he had this massive victory, and then in verse 18, he's really thirsty, there's nothing to drink, and then he cries out to God and says, I had this great victory, now I'm going to die of thirst. And God, provides water for him, so he meets his needs. But when you think about riding that roller coaster, and looking at Samson, the idea that his emotional states, just the ups and the downs and all of that, he's not seeking God. He's not looking for God. And God is using him, and God is doing what he's intended through him. But how much more could God have done if Samson would have been open to the relationship that God wanted to have with him? I mean, Samson only came to God if he needed something. And does that describe us? Do we come to God for everything in our life? Or do we only start really praying or really attending church as when we need something? Those are important things to remember, because God wants to be part of our life all the way through. Now, this doesn't mean, again, that God can't use us. He used Samson. He used Samson mightily to do amazing things. But what could God be doing through our lives if we will submit to him and allow him to work through us? Something to think about as you try to not avoid some of those incredible roller coasters that we have. Thanks.